Hello, good afternoon, viewers. Happy Sunday to you all, wherever you are. Thank you for tuning in to another time with Stephanie Glam. My name is Stephanie, and I am your host for today. Now, if this is the first time you're tuning into this channel, thank you so much for staying in, for tuning in. We do ask you to please stay to the end of this video because you never know, you may learn one or two things that can help you in your own life and self-development. And for my existing subscriber, thank you so much. You're one of the reasons why I come over this platform to bring topic of discussion. And for those of us that does not know what this channel represents, the channel Stephanie Glam is a channel that has been formulated to bring topics of discussion that can help us to become a better version of ourselves in whatsoever we hold dear to our life. So thank you so much for tuning in today. So before we go any further, I would like to bring the topic of discussion to you, which is called the power of forgiveness. And this topic was actually suggested by one of our special subscribers for me to talk about today. So thank you for bringing that to my awareness. And if there is any topic of discussion that anyone on this platform would like me to talk about, please leave a comment and I will do my utmost best to take on research to bring this topic to the awareness of the public. Okay, so without going any further delay, let's dive into the topic of today. So what is forgiveness? I don't know about you, but for me, as an adult, there are times I have been offended, and I am sure there are times people may say that I have offended them because we are all humans, we are not perfect. And this is when the aspect of forgiveness comes into play. So forgiveness is the release of resentment or anger towards someone. However, we should not relate this to reconciliation. Forgiveness does not mean that we have to reconcile with those people that have wronged us. And also, reconciling with those people that might have offended us may also depend on the nature of the offense that has been caused. That may make us decide if we really want to continue our relationship with these people after forgiving them. Okay, so forgiveness is forgiving someone for the hurt or the harm they've caused. And it doesn't mean you have to encourage such kind of people in your relationship dynamics that you have formed with them in the past. Forgiveness does not mean returning to the same relationship or acceptance of the same harmful behaviors or psychological traumas that this offender might have caused you in the past. So let's talk about what are the importance of forgiveness. Why forgiveness? It is important because it helps us with our mental state of mind. It helps us to develop positive mental health. If we have been wrongfully hurt, forgiving those people who have wronged us prepare us for moving forward rather than keeping us in a perpetual state of disorientation. Forgiving people help us to deal with traumatized states or traumatized situation that might have led to injustice in the past. Forgiveness has been proven to have helped to elevate mood, enhance optimism, and guide against anger, stress, anxiety, and depression. Forgiveness, despite how easy it sounds, it may be difficult to apply sometimes. It may not be easy to apply it in certain scenarios due to the nature of the offense that has been caused or due to the status of the offender in questions. And in such situation, it is only fair to allow the victims of such scenarios to choose whether they want to forgive their abuser or offender or they don't want to. We shouldn't impose people to forgive people that have drastically offended them in the past. This should be left to them to deal with those choices. In such instance, forgiveness should not be forced or expected of victims that have been abused by their offender. Leave those decisions to the victim himself to decide if they want to forgive them or not. So let's talk about how to forgive. You may be someone that have offended someone, or someone has drastically offended you, and you are finding it so hard to forgive or to let go of such an offense. I understand perfectly, because forgiveness may be easy to talk about, but it can be challenging to implement. And mostly in the cases where the offender is neither remorseful or the offender is neither apologetic of the offense that they've done or the traumas that they've caused. Despite how challenging it may be to forgive, in such cases, forgiveness is still the best and the healthiest way forward to self-healing. So I'm going to make some instances and some examples on the ways on how we can implement forgiving those that have offended us. Now, according to a prominent psychologist, Robert Enlight, there are 4 ways on how to offer forgiveness. Number 1 is uncovering your anger by explaining how you have avoided or addressed the emotions you felt when the offense was committed. At the earlier stage of an offense, we as humans may not have an insight on how to let go of such an offense, and it may be eating us deeply inside. The best way to deal with this is acknowledge that this has happened and try to know how you have addressed those emotions that those offender has caused you. That is one step towards finding ways to forgive. Once this acknowledgement has been accepted that this offense, this trauma has been caused, make the decision to forgive by being honest with yourself and acknowledging that ignoring this trauma or ignoring the psychological impact that this trauma or this offender might have caused through resenting this offender or by having anger towards this offender may not help to heal the situation or create instances for forgiving this person. By the time you've acknowledged these sad emotions you're feeling towards this person, the best way to move forward from this stage is by letting go of those hurts and those traumas that has been caused through offering forgiveness, which in such instances may be the best option to provide a pathway towards your own healing and towards your own moving forward from such traumas that has been caused by this offender. Number 3, on how to forgive. Cultivate forgiveness through compassion towards the offender itself. Now, this is easier said than done because we all have histories, we all have scenarios in the past, we all have family relationship, community that might have enabled us to develop traits that might not be healthy towards developing positive relationship to people. And sometimes research has shown that offenders, drastic offenders, that offense has been linked sometimes to childhood traumas that they might have experienced, which might have made them become offenders in their own adulthood. So when we cultivate forgiveness through compassion towards this offender, this can be released through reflection by trying to understand where is this offender coming from, what was their past history like, what was their growing up like that might have led them to commit this act of offense. And that can only be achievable through compassion towards the offender. By reflecting if the offense was caused maybe through malicious intent by the offender. It could have been caused through jealousy. Yeah, we are aware of people who for no reason just does not appreciate seeing people doing well in their life, and so they may try to manipulate issues to create traumas to see that person not do well or prosper towards becoming the best version that they want to be. So there are some people that intentionally causes offense in order to destabilize or demoralize a person's emotional state of mind. So you try by reflecting, try to know if this offense that has been caused by this offender was caused through malice or was caused through the act of jealousy, or was this offense actually caused due to the circumstances the offender might have experienced in life, which might have caused them to cause such acts of offense. Now, when we have been able to differentiate if this offense was caused through jealous acts or through circumstances that were not controllable to the offender, then this leads us to the last option, which is the fourth option, is to release the harmful emotions. Whether this offense was caused via jealous mood or was caused through psychological childhood trauma, the thing is that this offense has already been caused. So the best way for us to release those harmful emotions that this offender might have caused us is to walk towards forgiveness. Reflecting on how you have grown from the experience after acknowledging that this offense has happened is going to help you to walk towards forgiving this offender and letting go of such traumatic emotional traumas that has been caused by this offender. So this is going to lead us on to the next options on how to forgive ourselves. Because like I did say at the earlier start of this video, people may offend us. We may offend people, because after all, we are not perfect human beings. We also have our own individual flaws. So are you somebody that is finding it so hard to forgive yourself because you feel that you've caused so much traumas and so much psychological impact, negative impact to someone, and you're finding it so hard to forgive yourself? My dear friend, there is a way out of this. Just as we've talked about how to forgive an offender, but what happens when we are the ones causing the offense ourselves? What approaches can we implement to forgive ourselves? After all, we have flaws, we've caused offenses, we've caused heartbreak to other people. So how do we let go of this guilt that we have towards ourselves? Forgiving another offender is one thing, but what happens when we commit the offense ourselves? In such cases, it is important to take responsibility for our own actions and mistakes. So if we continue to build on self-guilt and shame towards ourselves, it's not going to make the situation any better. It won't help us to develop better in our own personal life. It may also even lead to other negative outcomes in the long run. So I would acknowledge that the process of self-forgiveness, on how to forgive ourselves, can be a difficult challenge in itself. But this can really help to provide valuable learning attributes for us to forgive ourselves for the mistakes or past traumas that we might have inflicted on others. And this can help us to heal personally within ourselves, and can also help us to present opportunities to make corrections, which can lead to a great sense of achievement and a well-meaningful life and a well-meaningful relationship in the end. So what are the vital keys and the processes that we can implement on how we can forgive ourselves for the traumas we've caused other people? Number one is by owning up to our mistakes. When we've done something that we feel shouldn't have been done, or maybe this was done through the act of ignorance at the earlier stage when the offense was caused, the best way to approach this is to acknowledge the mistake that has been made. Once this acknowledgement has been done, once you've owned up that truly I am responsible, I take the responsibility for doing such mistakes, then understand why the mistake has occurred. What could have been the reason that would have made you to cause such an offense to this person? What led you to doing that? What are the environmental issues, circumstantial issues that might have led you to commit such an act of offense against that person that you hold so dear? Once you've acknowledged this, then the next step to take is to try and avoid situations like that from reoccurring itself. Mitigate and set boundaries in place to help limit such mistakes from happening again that may make you to be an offender to that person. The third aspect on how to forgive yourself is then rectify the situation. What kind of amendment, what kind of problem-solving skills that can be applied to make that situation less harmful than it was originally? What strategy can you utilize to help mitigate against that? What corrections can be put in place to show that you are truly, truly sorry so that such mistakes cannot happen again? So begin by acknowledging that you are at fault when you've wronged someone, and take responsibility for the hurt that you may have caused during the time of ignorance when you knew not much better. Reflecting what led you to commit such an offense, while also ensuring that such offense is not done again. Ensuring and identifying how to avoid a similar offense from repeating itself in the future can also help you on how to develop forgiveness for yourself. Then forgive yourself. Focus on your thoughts before actualizing them. Focus on the things you want to do before putting them into action. And if those things you feel may cause offense to someone, then the best way is not to apply those actions, not to do those things if you're sure within yourself that it may create traumatic experience to the party involved. Take time to apologize to the people that you've offended. Let them know how sorry that you are, how sincerely sorry you are to have caused such traumas to them. And where possible, take steps to improve the lives of the people that you may have wronged by taking corrections and apply meaningful ways to make them know that you're truly, truly sorry about the offense that you might have caused them. So this is going to move us on to the benefits of forgiveness. Now we've talked about what to do when you are the offender, that is how to forgive yourself, and also how to forgive others. So what are the benefits of forgiveness? Forgiveness and forgiveness therapy has been linked together, and it offers a greater way of hopefulness, a greater means of happiness, and a greater means of being positive. So there is something called forgiveness therapy, and there are organizations out there that offer such services. So after forgiving someone, the next thing to do is to go into therapy, because this is also going to help you to learn ways on how you can also forgive yourself. Another benefit of forgiveness is that forgiveness has also been known to protect against serious conditions like anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. Because when we have traumas imbued inside of us, there is this emotional state of mind that can make someone go further into depression if they don't take the right steps to forgive or the right steps to forgive themselves. Forgiveness has also been known to help improve medical conditions. For example, it has been known to help lower blood pressure and also help patients who might have been suffering from cardiac arrest. Because when we harbor anger and resentment towards people, this has been known to release stress hormones. And whenever this stress hormones is released, or whenever the person that might have offended us comes into mind, it can create chemicals that can be very harmful to the body. And these chemicals can cause stress and anxiety, which can also make someone lose a sense of creativity and can also lead to more problematic health conditions. So there are also emotional benefits of forgiveness, not just the health benefits. Research also knows that the act of forgiveness can also create emotional benefits. Because when we forgive, it offers many positive psychological developments. It helps to reduce unhealthy anger towards people, towards loved ones, towards family. It also helps to repair valuable relationships. So imagine in a situation where traumas has been caused, and this has led to so many issues in the family. Through the heart of forgiveness, relationship can be rebuilt and family commitment can be formed on a solid base. So this is through the heart of forgiveness. Emotional forgiveness also helps to offer growth and development, helping us to become a better version of ourselves. Forgiveness also helps to enhance godly attributes and promote the overall good of ourselves mentally and also for those that are dear to us. Forgiveness also helps to promote intergenerational and societal relationship and improvement. So with all these issues that we've discussed today, are you someone out there that is having unforgiveness towards someone? I know it is hard. It is hard to forgive someone that have offended you, especially if that person is the least person you so imagined would do that. Take a step today to forgive that person. And not just to forgive that person, also forgive yourself if you feel that you might have caused offense to someone, because this is going to help create a better community, a better bond, a better relationship, and a better family dynamics. So with the point of discussion we've talked about today, I hope you've learned something about this, how important the power of forgiveness plays in our community. And if there is any issues of discussion you would like us to talk about again, please leave a comment and I will do the utmost best to do further research to bring that to the awareness of the public. So till I see you again, my dear viewers, thank you so much for tuning in today. And if this is the first time you are tuning in today, give this video a thumbs up and do please subscribe to this channel, and it helps me to develop more important topic to bring to your awareness. So till I see you again next time, it is hi, your host Stephanie from Stephanie Glam. Have a blessed week. Thank you. Bye.